brought home a new plant from the grocery store of all places, and my protocols for when I bring home a new house plant are different from when I bring home a new plant that is going to live outside in my garden. So I'm going to show you what I do for my new house plants so that they have a good start in my home.
First things first, I like to grab a potting mat. These are great for working with indoor plants so you don't make a mess everywhere. And then if you need to dump out soil, you can do that really easily. This plant is a Maranta, also known as a prayer plant, and they're pretty easy to take care of in my opinion. The main thing I want to do is check all the leaves on both sides for any pests. Spider mites and mealybugs are really common on houseplants, so I just want to make sure I'm not bringing anything into my home, especially if I have other houseplants that could be affected. But this plant is looking pretty good. Next, I want to remove any brown or yellowing leaves, and this plant actually looks pretty good. I really picked through all of them to find the best one at the store, but overall it's very healthy, but there are just two little crispy tips that I'll go ahead and snip off. The next thing I like to do is spray and wipe my leaves. You could just use plain water. I use this stuff. It can help prevent and treat pests on your houseplants. So for a new houseplant, it's a really good idea. The ingredients are pretty simple. It's nothing fancy. Corn and soybean oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, water, alcohol, citric acid, almond oil, and mica powder. And to help me wipe down the leaves, I like to use these fluffy gloves. You could use a cloth, but I like the gloves because they stay on my hands and they're easier to be more gentle on the leaves and really get the entire plant. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plant sprayed down, and then I am going to give the leaves a gentle massage and wipe the spray on both sides of all of the leaves. And when you use something other than water for the first time, test it on a leaf and see how it reacts first. I have used this on all of my Marantas without issue, so I am pretty confident that this will be fine on this plant, but just test anything new before spraying a whole plant with it. Now I want to take it out of its container and look at the roots. A lot of people will advise you to do this at the store, and I know I should have, but the plant itself looked really healthy, and we can see that the roots are starting to come out of the drainage holes, so I probably should pot it pretty soon, and I probably will within the next couple of days, but if I don't do it right now, it's not the end of the world. But just from the bottom of the container, I can see that the roots look healthy. Now I'll check the soil moisture. I could have used a soil meter, but just with my hands, I can feel that the soil is hydrated pretty well, but I'm still just going to give it a tiny sip of water just because I don't know when this plant was watered last, and it is going to be pretty warm this week. I'm also going to quarantine this plant in a bathroom for a couple of days just in case I missed anything in terms of pests. Lastly, it has to pass the cat inspection. What do you think, Eleanor?